Hello guys, I am Umair Nazim and welcome to the object-oriented series of Let's Code. Now you are watching the lecture number 3 and the part is 2. So in the first part of lecture number 3, I demonstrate you about the constructors on the board, and in the second part of this video that you are watching now, I will demonstrate the constructors on the compiler so that you can understand the things very well. Before proceeding to the topic, I want to say that if you haven't watched the part 1 of this lecture, so please go to the part 1 and watch that one first, because it was very basic and very informative. So now, without wasting any time, let me start. So here, as you can see, this one is our class, okay, my class, the name is my class, and the package is here lecture 2, this one our package, okay. So here also you can see within this lecture number 2 I have created two classes, that is my class, and that my class has the method that is main method, okay. So beside this one I have created one more class, that is the student class here, okay, that one is our student class. So in this class we will implement our members, we will implement the constructors, and we will call that things into this this void main method, okay. So guys, please always remember that the constructor must have the same name as your class name, okay. So please always remember this thing. If you give a different name to your constructor, then that is not a constructor, okay. So here let me implement the like variables here, and then I will assign the values to that variables with the help of constructor, okay. We will do the same thing that we did in the part 1. String, so the student can have a name, so we will create here a variable name, okay. Then we will ask here the student can have a surname here. Also the student can have an age, so age is an integer, so that's why we write here age, okay. Now here I have created 3 variables, one is student, one is surname, and the other is age. Now as I said to you, the constructor can always must have a same name of the class, so I will write here student, then I will put these two parentheses, okay, and after that these two curly brackets. Now this thing is called our constructor. So within this constructor I will write one statement. So let's suppose that I am in the constructor, okay. Now I have written here I am in the constructor within this constructor, and now let me, so I will save this file and let me go to the here in our class within this void main method, okay. So within this main method, first of all I will create the instance. So here in the instance, that is this, so I write the class name, that is student. After that I will give a name to my instance, st, and after that I have to write here new, this is a keyword, and then I will again write the name of my class, that is again student, okay, that is a student. And after that student I have to use I have to put these two parentheses, okay. So if you remember that we also write this thing when we don't have any constructor within our class, okay. So let me remove, just for an instance, just for example, let me remove this thing, okay. And now we don't have any constructor in our class, in our student class, but when I am creating this instance, then again I am creating this as a constructor, right. So this thing is, the thing is that, so whenever you are creating the instance for a class, you must create a constructor that is a default constructor, okay. So this constructor is automatically created by Java, okay. But this time, okay, I have created one constructor here with the same name of the class, okay, and here this time this constructor is as a default. But when I will run this code, I want to show you something. So when I will run this code, so here as you can see, I am in the constructor. So this thing is printed, this method. So I am in the constructor. Okay. So it means that that one is a default constructor. Okay. But now here when I am calling that default constructor, I have written a statement within the default constructor, that is I am in the constructor. So when I execute the program, that statement is printed here. Okay. Now let me create a constructor, one more constructor. So that is student again, and now I have created here two constructors, but this time it is giving an error. So why it is giving an error? If you remember, in the programming we cannot create the two variables with the same name. Similar, we cannot create two functions with the same name, and same is the case here. We cannot create two constructors with the same name. So then how can we overcome this problem? Because we cannot change the name of our constructor. Our constructor must have the same name with our class name. So now how can we overcome this thing? So if you remember, when we were dealing with the functions, I said to you, if you want to create two functions with the same name, that is called the function overloading. Okay, so to overcome that thing, we must have to create a little bit difference in them. So that difference is, so we have to create little bit difference within their parameters. So same case here. So now this time this constructor is containing nothing. So the parameters are empty. As you can see, within the parameters there is nothing. So now, but here in this constructor we will pass something within the parameters. Okay. So now for that one, let me write here string, okay, string nm. So now when I have assigned something in the parameters, you can see now there is no error. Why? Because now it looks at different, because this student is containing nothing in the parameters, but this student is containing something in the parameters. So when we run our code, our compiler can easily understand. Okay, if we have something, if we call the constructor with an empty parameters, our compiler will call this constructor, but if we put something in our parameters, then our compiler will call this constructor. Okay, so now for that one I will write here st name, and I will pass three parameters. Okay, so first one is string nm, then I will write here string sr, okay, and then I will write here integer intag. Okay, because I have to assign the values to these three member variables, that's why I am creating here three variables. Okay, I am creating here three parameters. Okay, so for that one I will write here name is equal to nm. Okay, now this nm is coming here nm, and then the value of that nm will go to this name, and that name is referring to this one. So as you can see, when I will highlight on this name, that name is also highlighted. So because this name is same with this name. Okay, so similar like this, I will create here surname, okay, and then I will pass the value of sr to here. Okay, similar like this, I will call here age, and I will pass the value that is ag, that is coming from our parameter. So here, now here this age is referring to this age, okay, and this age is referring to this age here. Okay, so now we have two constructors with the same name, but the parameters are different. So this thing is called as a constructor overloading. Okay, so now for that one I will create here one function, one method, okay, that is public. Okay, that is a public, and I will give a name to my function. So let's suppose that info is the name of the function, and I am assigning nothing within the parameters. Okay, so here I will put one statement, so name, and plus I will get the value of this name. So now this name, I am getting the value of this name to here. Okay, now the name is this one, and now let me write one more statement here. I will copy this one, same, and I will write it here this one. Now here surname, and here I will pass the value of surname. Okay, surname, and similar for the age, I will write here age, and here I will write the value that is age. Okay, so why it is giving us an error? Public void. So sorry, here I have to write also the data, also the return type, that is void, so it will return nothing. Okay, now when I write here void, so the error is gone. So now let me save this class, and I will go to my main class. Okay, now within that one was our instance with the default constructor. Okay, and that one is our, I will create a second instance that with the same name of the student class, student. This time I will write here st2, and with the new keyword new, and then I have to write the name of my class. Okay, so now guys, this student constructor is referring to this student constructor. Okay, because we didn't assign any value in that constructor, but in this constructor here I will assign the parameters. Okay, so now I have to call this constructor, so that's why here within the parameter we have assigned 3 values. So in this student again I have to assign the 3 values. So let me write my name, that is Umair. So let's suppose that I will assign just 1 value, but that constructor is containing the 3 parameters. So here this is it is containing the 3 parameters, but I am assigning just 1 parameter, 1 value. Then it will give an error, because so as you can see, add arguments to match the student constructor, that is string, string and integer. So it means I have to assign 2 more values. So for the surname I will write here Nazim, and here for the age I will write, suppose that 30. Okay, now here I have assigned 3 values, so that is referring to this constructor. So now I will print my method, okay, with the instance, second instance st2 dot, and here I will write the info. So when I write inf, so it is showing us the method, that is info. Okay, now I am calling that method, and let me execute this one. So now here as you can see, this I am in the constructor is referring to this instance. Okay, because when we will execute the program, first it will read this line. So within this line it is containing nothing. Our compiler will understand that we have created one constructor that is containing no parameters, so it will call that constructor. Okay, but now when the compiler will come to this line, this second line, so it will understand that we have created one constructor that is containing the 3 parameters. Okay, so for that one it will come to this constructor. Okay, so similar like this, if you have created one more constructor with the 2 parameters, so when you will call that constructor with the 2 parameters, it will go to that 2 parameter constructor. Okay, similar like this you can create more constructors, and when it will come to this st with a second with the second instance st.info, so it will come to this method here. Okay, this method, and it will print this result. Okay, but guys, now one important thing is that, so here in this second constructor, okay, in this second constructor, suppose that you have given the same name to the parameters. So that is, let's suppose I will write here name, here in the sr I will write here surname. Okay, and here in the age I will write the age. Okay, now as you can see, this name, this surname and this age, although these two these parameters are the different are different variables, but they are looking same with these variables. Okay, so when I will write here name to this name, okay, this surname to this surname, and age to age. Now when I will run this constructor, okay, when I will run this constructor, I will call that constructor, our compiler cannot understand, so which value we are passing, which thing we are calling. So to make a little bit again difference, I will write here this. Okay, I will write here this and like this. So sometimes we use not with this dot. Okay, this dot name. So now this dot name is referring to this name. Okay, and now that name is referring to this name. Okay, this name. Then again, here we write here this dot, sorry, this dot surname. Now with the help of this dot surname, it is referring to this surname. Okay, now in the age, again I will write here this dot age, and now this dot age is referring to this age, and this age simple is referring to this age. Okay, so that one is a very important thing here, because when you will create here the same name and here also the same names, then compiler cannot understand like which value is this value, which value is this value. So for that, why, to make a little bit difference, we will write here this dot name, and this dot name is referring to this name, and this name is referring to here this name. Okay, but I will recommend you to put the different names within the parameters here, so that you don't need to write this keyword here. Okay, so for that, why that is. So guys, I hope that the topic is clear to you, and if you like this video, so please hit on the subscribe button and write a comment. Okay, so see you in the next video.